Alright guys, welcome back to Legends of Evil, and today I'm going to be spotlighting Arthas from Warcraft, or you can call him the Lich King, whatever. So let's talk a bit about Arthas. Arthas is a prince and also a paladin. He is the prince of the kingdom of Lordaeron and the son of Tyrannus. He was very idealistic. God, I can't talk today. Very brash, very arrogant, and his master, Uther the Lightbringer, was an older, more experienced paladin, and tried to keep, he was very set in his ways, but the two respected each other like, friends. They were very close friends, but eventually, Arthas went down the road that led him to, during all the attacks against the Burning Legion and the Horde, a lot of things were driving him mad, and eventually he finally broke when he found the legendary cursed sword, Frostmourne, eventually leading his way to becoming a Dread Knight, and then, from there, merging with the Lich King. A brash and idealistic warrior, and a prodigy, no doubt, best friend to a very wise and experienced warrior, eventually turned to the dark side through, good intentions, even though there was no love there was love for his people, and then eventually became the very thing he wanted to destroy, and became the ultimate form of evil. I feel like I've heard this story before, guys. I really do. I just can't put my finger on why this sounds so familiar to me. It's right on the tip of my tongue. This sounds like a story I've heard before. Oh well, it's escaping me. I can't think of it. I guess I'll never know. Okay, yes, I think we all get that, the connections between Arthas and Vader. It's very blatant, that Arthas is very much based off of Anakin and his fall into becoming Darth Vader. It's a perfect parallel, really. It's a very... Arthas's fall from grace, perfectly mirrors, Anakin's rise to becoming Darth Vader, just like how Arthas became, from a Dread Knight to the Lich King. It's very much the same way. Now, Arthas was battling, Arthas, like I said, was once a paladin and had to fight the Scourge, the oncoming Burning Legion, the Horde, all of that stuff, and it eventually just drove him mad. And unlike Anakin, he was more obsessed with protecting Lordaeron. Eventually he went back to slaughter everyone in Lordaeron, when he got the power, when he became a Dread Knight. But still, yeah. Now, as the Lich King, he became probably one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful being in the universe of Warcraft. This guy had a lot of power behind him, and he was pretty powerful as a paladin, but when he got the power of Frostmourne and became a Dread Knight, that's when things got really interesting. He could have the power to raise the dead, control the dead, and resurrect such beings as even Frost Wyverns. He could even, sacrifice some of the souls of his enemies to add to his own strength. He was a powerful sorcerer, and added to the power when he took that, the power of the Lich King. Oh yeah, he had to kill a guy by the name of Illidan Stormrage. Pretty easily, by the way. If you guys remember that fight from the Frozen Throne, it's a cool fight between Arthas and Illidan, and keep in mind, he wasn't the Lich King yet, but Arthas, damn, just took down... I know Illidan comes back. I've heard that, in World of Warcraft, Illidan made his return, but really, Arthas really brought the heat there. He knew how to, bring an opponent down. But yes, with the power of Frostmourne, this gave his power an extra boost, and when he took, he merged with the Lich King, that power increased tenfold. I've heard a lot of horror stories from World of Warcraft fans who, even to this day, huge massive parties get slaughtered in a few hits from Arthas. In group parties. Like I said, I don't really play a lot of World of Warcraft. The last time I played Warcraft was, like I said, Warcraft 3, and then its expansion, The Frozen Throne. So with that being said, this was a guy who, more or less, when he actually came to his, he returned from his first from his first time out in the north, trying to find power to defeat the Scourge, and then finding his way to Frostmourne. By the way, he pretty much slaughtered everyone who he worked with, especially, a dwarf who, oh my god, I'm forgetting the dwarf's name that he teamed up with. But yeah, he betrayed everyone there, took Frostmourne back to Lordaeron, and, pretty much disemboweled his father, and, killed everyone in Lordaeron in an attempt to make it his own image. And then from then on, he proceeded to secretly help the Lich King, who, at this point, the Lich King was starting to lose his power over the Scourge, and the Scourge were either A, dying off, or B, killing each other and more or less, weakening the Scourge from within. So, Arthas decided to take up the sword, take up Frostmourne once more, head off with a few remaining allies and Dread Knights, and a few other allies here and there, had to fight some other members of the Burning Legion here and there, and like I said, Illidan, to finally take the power of the Lich King and become the new Lich King. Eventually, however, this guy did die in, Wrath of the Lich King. He did eventually die. He was mortally wounded and defeated by Tyrion, by a man by the name of Tyrion. I'm forgetting the man's last name. But, however, the problem was that without Arthas, the Scourge would become this mindless, droving band that would more or less slaughter everyone in sight. So, Tyrion decided to put the helmet on and become the new Lich King in order to control the Scourge. See, it's kind of the whole meaning of heavy is the head that wears the crown. So, all in all, Arthas was probably, like I said, if you ever thought of, think of characters from Warcraft, it's usually Arthas that came to mind, along with Thrall and a few other characters. But yeah, this is a character who fell from grace fast. But you do see that he did have good intentions of protecting his kingdom. He wanted to be the hero, but eventually became the ultimate evil that he swore to destroy. And again, he is pretty much Warcraft's, comparison to Darth Vader. But I mean that in a good way. As much as I joke about that, it is a pretty good story. It's a pretty good story of this, young man falling from grace and becoming the ultimate evil. So all in all, pretty cool character. So you guys tell me, what do you guys think of Arthas? Do you guys like him? Do you guys hate him? Just comment below, let me know. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.